The rain that night didn't fall, it whispered, a murmur across the rooftops of Southwell, a forgotten town nestled amidst the English countryside, where time had slowed to a hush and secrets clung to the fog like moths to flame. Willian stood at the edge of the old quarry, the scent of wet stone and pine clinging to his coat. His eyes, the color of restless oceans, scanned the heavens, not in search of answers, but of escape. Life had become a dim corridor of routines and shadows. The world below had lost its color, but the sky above? Tonight, it bled silver. A streak of impossible light tore across the horizon. Not a shooting star, not a meteor, but something sentient. The air grew heavier, charged, as if the atmosphere itself held its breath. And then, the impact. A thunderous explosion in the forest to the east, where the trees had stood untouched for centuries. Willian didn't think. His feet moved before reason could protest. Through bramble and stone, drawn not by curiosity, but something deeper. A call he didn't understand, but could not resist. What he found shattered every law he knew. She stood amidst a circle of scorched earth, her form wreathed in steam and starlight. Not naked, not clothed, her skin was her armor, her elegance. Pale like moonstone with veins that pulsed faintly with violet luminescence. Eyes vast and layered, black yet infinite. Her hair, or what passed for it, moved like strands of living mist, curling and uncurling with the wind. And though the air screamed alien, something in her expression was achingly familiar. Pain, fear, awe. She fell, and Willian caught her. He carried her through the forest like a secret, to his cabin at the edge of nowhere, where the satellite signals were weak, and the only eyes that watched were owls and stars. She awoke 3 nights later, her voice a tremor of music and static. I should not speak to you. I should not be alive here. But Willian had never been one to obey what the world said he should or should not do. He learned her name, Tharea. She was not from any system humans knew. Her world, Virelia, orbited a dead sun beyond the Veil Nebula. Her people, the Illyri, were once creators of living planets, weavers of genetic wonders. But something had hunted them, something ancient. And now, Tharea was the last. She had not come to Earth by chance. She had come seeking sanctuary and seed. The bond that grew between them defied the rules of science and the commandments of the stars. Their connection was not merely of flesh. When she touched him, he felt memories not his own. When he dreamed, he saw her world dying, oceans turning to glass, skies folding inward. One night, under the weeping moon, she whispered, I carry it, the child of shadow and light, yours and more than yours. The pregnancy was not like anything of Earth. Within days, her body began to change. Her glow intensified. Her senses sharpened. She could hear the wind speak. Trees bowed when she walked, and strange phenomena began to ripple across the region. Electrical disturbances, animals behaving erratically, whispers on the shortwave radio. The stars themselves shifted. For the child Tharea carried was not just an offspring. It was a key, a hybrid unlike any born in the cosmos. One that could reopen what the Illyri had sealed long ago. They came for it, not with ships or weapons, but with dreams. Willian began to suffer visions. Eyeless figures in black robes standing at the foot of his bed. Cities burning under black suns. Voices speaking in a language that made his teeth bleed. Tharea grew silent. Her eyes, once full of pain and longing, now held fear. She began to carve symbols into the wooden floors. Ancient glyphs of protection and remembrance. The cabin became a warded sanctuary, but it would not hold forever. They are coming, Willian. Not for me, not for you, for her. And then she added, almost in a whisper, she will not be like us. She will be the first and the last. It began with a silence deeper than death. Willian awoke in the dark, not because of a sound, but the absence of all sound. No wind, no creaking of wood, not even his own breath. Thoraya stood at the center of the cabin, her body levitating inches above the ground, light pouring from every pore. Her abdomen pulsed like a second heart, surrounded by arcs of pale electricity that danced between the symbols she had carved. "She is ready," Thoraya said, voice split in 3 harmonies, one gentle, one metallic, one ancient. The walls began to warp, not collapse, not break, but bend, like paper reacting to heat. Time itself thickened. Willian could only watch, paralyzed not by fear, but awe. And then, a scream. Not from pain, from the universe itself. The birth was not of blood and water, it was of light and rupture. A wave of energy burst through the cabin, knocking trees flat for miles around. Birds fell from the sky, glass shattered in nearby towns, and in Willian's arms, she emerged. She was not a child. She was a convergence, skin translucent like quartz, with constellations moving beneath her surface. Eyes that reflected not the room, but the observer's soul. No umbilical cord, no placenta, only a ribbon of blue flame that dissolved the moment it touched air. Thoraya collapsed, but she smiled. She carries us both, our essence, our memory, our war. Willian wept, though he did not know why. They named her Aurelith, but she had many names, spoken by the wind, whispered by broken machines, etched in dreams not yet dreamt. The Dawnling, the third axis, the living cipher. She aged at a rate impossible to understand. Within days, she walked. By the second week, she spoke every language known to Earth. By the third, she began to hear the stars. But with her awakening, something else stirred. Storms without origin battered the northern coast. Satellites began falling from orbit. People across the globe reported seeing a woman of mist and lightning standing in their reflections, though no one stood beside them. Thoraya grew weaker, her glow dimming. "I gave her everything," she confessed to Willian. "She is the vessel of survival, but she is also the door." Governments moved. Satellites traced the energy spike to Willian's cabin. Drones. Surveillance. Then silence. All who approached vanished. One team, armed, shielded, elite, was sent in. Only one man emerged. Blind. Laughing. Muttering only one word over and over. Aurelith. The child could no longer be hidden. But she did not hide. She spoke. To the world. Hijacking every screen, frequency, and digital device, Aurelith appeared, not as a child, but as a figure of burning white geometry, human and yet not, speaking not with lips, but directly into minds. "I am the synthesis, the rebirth, the warning. You were not alone. You are not alone. But now, you are noticed." They did not come in ships. They came in absence, arriving not with light, but with its theft. The sun dimmed, the moon stilled, the stars held their breath. 3 figures descended over the earth, seen simultaneously in all skies. They had no shape, and yet every eye saw them as something primal. Serpents of void, crowns of inverted gravity, thrones woven of forgotten screams. They were known in Thoraya's tongue as the Threnachai, judges of emergent genesis. Each one bore a name that shattered neural patterns when spoken aloud. But Aurelith, calm as the surface of a still lake, faced them without trembling. "You were warned," one said, its voice a vibration that cracked mirrors. "No Ileri may merge blood with those beneath the veil. Yet you have broken it," hissed the second, "and birthed not a child, but a question." "A question we must now answer," boomed the third. "With extinction or ascension." Willian, standing beside Aurelith, felt as if every cell in his body was being rewritten. He clutched Thoraya's hand. Her skin was cold, too cold. "Do not fight them," she whispered. "You cannot." But Aurelith spoke. "I am not Ileri. I am not human. I am the bridge. You judge from fear, but fear is obsolete. She raised her hand, and the stars blinked. The Threnikai did not attack. They invited. Aurelith was pulled, no, translated, into a chamber that existed outside time, where the past bled into the future, and the laws of physics bent like reeds in wind. Willian, impossibly, was drawn with her. The chamber was made of memory. He walked through his childhood, through Thoreira's dying world, through the first cell that ever divided on Earth. The Threnikai revealed to him what no human was meant to see. The evolutionary dead ends of trillions of civilizations, the moment when life touched godhood and collapsed under its own weight. Hybrids, the first said, have always led to catastrophe. They unravel the weave, the second intoned. They bring the hunger. Willian stepped forward. Then why let her be born? He demanded. Why now? The Threnikai were silent. Then the third said, because something older than judgment moves, and she might be the only one who can see it. Returned to Earth, Aurelith now shone with impossible understanding. Her form flickered between human and alien, child and ancient. She looked to her mother, now barely alive, to her father, broken yet unwavering, to the world, poised on the brink of revelation or annihilation. I can leave, she said. I can take my light into the dark and seal the wound. But if I stay, I change everything. You will no longer be alone, but you will never be the same. Willian's heart ached. He saw the future in her eyes. And still, he whispered, stay. And Thoreia, with her final breath, whispered, shine. In the days that followed, nothing and everything changed. Governments fell quietly. A new calendar was created. Children born after that year began to show strange insights. Some claimed they could feel the Earth's pulse. Others dreamed of distant galaxies they had never seen. Aurelith walked the Earth, neither ruler nor prophet, merely present. Where she went, famine ceased. Storms calmed. And in the hearts of all who met her, a question grew. What if we were never meant to be alone? Willian lived to see the world remade. But in quiet hours, he missed Thoreia's voice. And sometimes, late at night, when the stars blinked just so, he felt her near, like a warm breath across time.